All right, here we go. I seen a picture of a meme of, I don't know what you'd call it, not a Grim Reaper, but like a ghost with a lantern. Has a cloak on. Seeing it was a pipe structure, and I wanted to recreate this, but I'm gonna make it a mixture between like the Grim Reaper, a Dementor from Harry Potter type situation. I don't really know how to explain it. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that two of these, one holding lanterns in opposite hands, one for each side of the driveway. One, I'm doing no welding required, very, very few tools. You don't even need a drill for the way I'm gonna do this first one. The second one's gonna be all welded, bent, you know, really a quick fabricated one. We're gonna wrap it, and you can use hardware cloth, heavy duty chicken wire. What I've got is a rabbit caging. It was cheaper for the same strength, that's all I need. So I'm gonna sculpt it around there, or actually just more tie it on there. I used my own body. I don't know if you can quite see this. I tried to most generally use my own body to get the general shapes I wanted for holding a lantern. A lot of these old pipes are old and rusty from old projects I've done. This was an old pipe clamp that I no longer use in a woodworker. You can still see the piece down here that I haven't taken off yet. But anyhow, yeah, I'm gonna do all this out. I've got some big concrete drive stakes to drop this down in when it's done, and I'm gonna have another one so the wind doesn't blow it. And the bonus, but wait, there's more. Right up here, I've got copper pipe caps. I've got a 5-way, 3/4 inch valve right here, not valve, but a 5-way. And I put copper in here because coming out of this, after Halloween's over, I'm gonna drop the black cape down, put a Santa Claus robe on it, a Krampus cloak, I guess we'll call it, and then some copper pipe coming up, and it'll go straight from Grim Reaper, Dementor into Krampus, so you can go straight from October 1st all the way to Christmas with this decoration if you want. Yeah, you can be decorated right straight on through Thanksgiving. Those freaks that don't like to decorate before Thanksgiving, they're no fun. They're quite boring actually. But yeah, let's get started here. The first one's gonna be no welding, and then I'm gonna make the other one match that I'm welding because I'm restricted to what you can order offline. I'm gonna try to have all the supply list. So if you can go one place and buy everything short of your pipes, this pipe I believe is 5 feet. So you can go to Home Depot, Lowe's, any of your hardware stores, buy a 10-foot section, cut it in half, and they'll rethread it so you'll have 2 5-footers there. And then you just pick up all the extra pieces or order all the extra from Amazon, get them shipped in, or you can even just take the list to go to the hardware store. But yeah, let's get rocking and rolling. Here it is. It's Halloween time. Let's do this. All right, I've been playing around with this a little bit, trying to figure out what shape that I want everything. And it looks like I'm gonna use a 2-foot section wrapped around. I'm gonna start, I'll show you how I cut these in a minute, but I'm gonna tie it back to itself for right now. I'm gonna use an 18-inch circumference. So I gotta use 18 times pi, 3.14. If you're doing it in your head and the 0.14 is too much, just times it by 3 and add a little. It ain't rocket science. We're not building Timexes here. But anyhow, yeah, so I'm gonna start at the bottom and start coming up and attaching, and I'm gonna make arms coming up. That way it'll all hold the drapery that I've got, that I'm gonna put over this. So all I'm trying to do is just get this so the fabric will lay on it and cover it up just good enough. Like I said, I've come close to my dimensions. I want the hood to hang over the face just a little bit. I'm gonna paint everything black so it doesn't hopefully stand out. If it does, we can cover like the face with a black cloth. That's too easy. Might even get a Scream costume, put a Scream costume on it just to show you a few options. Yeah, options are limitless here with this. So yeah, I'm gonna show you what I'll have dimensions. I'll try to have the dimensions kept track of, keep everything super simple. But yeah, 18-inch circumference, and I'm gonna taper it a little bit to the waist. The second piece come back up, the arms come out, and then I'm gonna pull the head down so it's like a smooth draping. Might even take this pipe nipple out here. That way it drapes just a little bit better. That way it's looking forward. Yeah, we'll keep rolling. I'll give you an idea of what I'm doing. All right, what I'm doing here is I've made my measurements between the 2 runs. I'm cutting them halfway in between so I can use these to tie back to each other. I really hope these details are coming through. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pull the head piece off, and then I'm gonna cut a 36-inch square piece, lace it onto here, and then droop it over and lace it into the arms, and then see coming over here if that'll give me support for that. It should. That's the way I've designed it. Coming off here so everything's droopy like a big cloak would be. This roll's 28 inches wide, so I just cut it square, 28 by 28 between the vertical runs. And now I'm just going to attempt to get this opened up, start getting it laced on, pulled around. This is kind of roughly what I'm playing around with. I'm gonna get a cloak pin to try to pull this in, make it, a cloak visible. The arms and shoulders, it's gonna take a little squishing once final form, get it to where I want it. But all in all, it's looking fairly hunchbacky, which I like. It's kind of what I was wanting, head going forward. Cloak coming on up and over the head. And then I'm gonna have a lantern hanging right here. So in the final form, I'll have to figure out how to keep this away from it. Even with the glass chimney or the other ones that I'm gonna get, the 4-pane window, I'm gonna have that option also. I don't think it'll be an option, a problem with fire and these tarps like this. That'll have to all be tucked in, up and over. I see it coming together. I'm struggling with it, but I see it coming together. I just gotta do this twice, one on each side. All right, here's roughly what I'm coming up with on the painter's tarp. Lantern hanging here. I'm gonna dye everything, hopefully black. Kind of making stuff up on the fly as to whether it'll work or not. But yeah, I'm gonna peel this off and try to figure out how to button everything in so it's a more solid foundation underneath. And then once that's done, once I dye these, I'll get the screen, because you see I started doing a belly here. So I'm gonna try to tuck that up and under, because we all got a little belly on us. But a little rope tied up underneath, give it some form, some wrinkles. Hanging lantern, of course, again. And then, so yeah, I guess the point I'm trying to say is I'm gonna pull all these off now that I've kind of got an idea where I'm going with it, and start moving forward on everything else. Let's get going. Bringing it in closer so hopefully you can see what I'm trying to accomplish here. These extra pieces that I cut half off of the verticals, I'm just gonna wrap these around. Use pliers if you want, needle nose, anything will work. I'm gonna use my fingers. Like I said, it'll all be final shape when I'm done. But I'm gonna get some tie wire and hang this more vertically. I thought these would keep that from coming in, but it's those two are a waste. Maybe not. I mean, it might end up being something I can use. All these were just theories that I used in my head. All right, right here's my recommendation if you don't have a drill. If you're doing all this with no tools, very few tools actually. This is a ground clamp from the electrical section. I'll have it in the link below, and a 1/4-inch eye bolt. Then I'm just gonna hook the chain to here. I would get a shorter one than I've got here. A little bit, probably by the time I flex that, it'll be all right. But yeah, so I'm just gonna hook a chain to my lamp coming down with some S-hooks. And that's all you need. I said I'll probably go with a shorter one. I'll link a shorter eye bolt to this. I'm gonna drill them and clamp them, or drill them and bolt them through on each one. Might even just drill and then weld the top, do a button weld on the top. Be a lot easier, but yeah, that's all it is. You don't even need to drill these out. It'll work. All right, here you go. Hope you can see this. Got chains for each side of the driveway for the hanging lanterns. The heads are coming up. This one's just a little bit taller, which I don't care about because the framework, slight discrepancies are going to be fine between the two for me personally. I'm assuming if you're building these at home, you're going to use a complete no welding or just a welding with scrap. Just make it go. make them match is all I'm saying. This was as close as I could be a match. If I was gonna be real OCD about it, I could put a longer coupling right here. I'm not, it doesn't matter to me. It's going to be fine by the time the hood and everything's on it. You're never gonna see it. So I have to run to town, get some S hooks, get some different chains. That might be enough, but I definitely need a couple S hooks. I gotta get the lantern. Anyhow, I gotta run for parts and some, hardware cloth. Because I'm gonna do this one out in hardware cloth. It's the way you should do it. Unless you've just got this scrap fencing laying around. This was rabbit fencing, I bought it. They didn't have hardware cloth in stock at the time. I don't know why. But yeah, here we are. Let's do it. I'm gonna run for parts. I'll be back. I'll get rolling in just a minute. Let me just poke mine out. All right, guys. Hopefully you can see what I'm getting ready to do here. I've got black Rit dye and red Rit dye. The black is for the Dementor Grim Reaper thing. The red's gonna be for the Krampus changeover. I've got my paint cloths all washed up. They're used. Hopefully they'll end up looking distressed. What I've got here, I've got a 5-gallon bucket of hot bathtub water, and you'll need it hotter than that, so I've got a big turkey fryer bucket thing getting ready to boil off. So I'm gonna add the hot water to each, add the salt, the dish liquid, the Rit dye, the black and the red, because I don't need one for the red, so it's a smaller. And then I'll keep boiling water to top it off. Now I didn't read far enough long to see how long I'm gonna soak it, but it's the end of the day here for me. So this stuff is gonna lay and die overnight. And hopefully I can toss it a couple more times and make sure everything's getting an even dye. But I don't see what it hurts, so I'm just gonna roll with it and see what I can do. All right, you can see we're up to a rolling boil here. I don't know quite how hot we'll need it. What I didn't show you earlier, or didn't add in, I'm gonna add in some vinegar. And I've got, for the amount I'm doing, this supposedly isn't enough. I've got 4 things of Rit dye here. Continue pouring the boiling water in until everything's submerged. Oof, careful. This step isn't exactly crucial, but I'm gonna take everything that has the zinc on it, all these shiny coatings from the new stuff I've bought, and I'm gonna soak it. Times vary. I'm not gonna be here overnight, so I'm just gonna let it soak overnight. Just submerge it, let it soak. Vinegar will do the rest to take it off, and then the paint will adhere a lot better. Just to explain what I've done here, on this eye bolt, 1/4 inch coming through, I put an S hook, 12 inches of chain, which it may be adjusted later. Another S hook, and one of these candle lanterns, Walmart. So yeah, I'm just gonna paint the chains, everything black. Actually, everything facing outwards towards the end of everything. Anything that might be exposed, lower parts of the wire. And I don't know if you can see, but this wire, the hardware cloth, is way better than this rabbit wire I started with. But I'm here now. I'm gonna see how this one lasts the season. I've always got it right here in stock if I need to change something up. But yeah, I believe I'm ready to paint everything. Yeah, looks like I'm ready to paint everything, get switched over, put my T on the bottom, and another pipe coming out with a T so I can have 2 ground stakes going into each one. And then I'll be ready to get it cloaked, tied off, and ready for that party on Sunday, I think. And what I did here was I took 2 T's and a 12-inch piece to hopefully, this should get me out from underneath the netting, or the cloak. On the same side that the lantern is where I'm gonna have these coming out. And I'm gonna drive a stake, concrete stake into the ground. And then when I set these up, I'm gonna drive another one down, that way there's no movement.